How's it going, buddy boys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host with a brownie in his pocket, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ProRevenge. Alright, my friends, this story is called Don't Mess with Sandra. This tale was told to me as a warning when I started on my first post-college job. I'm relating it exactly as it was told to me. This occurred in the early 80s, so those of you who've grown up with the internet may not understand how we did things in the olden days. There were no smartphone apps to show QR codes for airline tickets. They were paper with red carbon mess. Reservations were done by phone. It was primitive by today's standards. Oh my god. But honestly, a lot less noise going on, if you know what I'm saying. Easier to focus on what's important. I'm not saying I want to go back to where there was no internet. Hell no. But it's still cool to think about. You know, now we have infinite distractions everywhere we go. And with someone who most likely has ADHD, it's a possible hindrance. But anyway, players. Names have been changed, of course. Sandra. Super sweet secretary, loved by all. Not the boss's wife. True, I worked with her. She was amazing. Fred, Sandra's boss. Tom, local vice president. Big Shot, incoming senior manager from back east. Al, lead engineer on the team. This occurred in Salt Lake City, which, if you don't know, family was a huge part of the culture. Even at work, family matters took precedence. And local management knew this and allowed for it. Well, Big Shot's office minions noticed some slight irregularities in time cards, like days off without pre-approved vacation requests, so he got himself transferred to the Salt Lake City office to straighten things out. Naturally, he was quickly hated. One morning, Sandra got a call from her daughter, who was unexpectedly in town and wanted to have lunch. Naturally, Fred and Tom said okay, but then Big Shot stuck his nose in. Rather than just saying no, he dropped a travel request on Sandra's desk, and it had to be done because he expected to fly out that afternoon. Sandra was heartbroken that she wouldn't get to see her daughter, but she had her work responsibilities. Stopping by to drop off some paperwork, Al noticed that Sandra looked a little down, a huge change from her normal chipper mood. He naturally asked why, and Sandra explained. Al told her, he had no authority by the way, to go have lunch and we'll take care of it. Big Shot got his travel packet, got on the plane that afternoon, and flew off to his meeting. That's when things started to go wrong. The rental car reservation was invalid, and there were no cars available at any of the agencies. All had a hold on them pending confirmation from some big clients. So Big Shot ended up getting a rent-a-wreck. For those too young or not in the United States, there really was a discount auto rental agency by that name. Quality was not job one. When Big Shot got to the hotel, he found that his reservation was no good. He had to wait around until after the tentative reservations had expired, which was after 6 p.m. Getting suspicious, Big Shot looked at his tickets and found they were one way. He had no flight home. The next morning, Tom flew in to join him, and to say Big Shot was incensed was probably an understatement. He gave Big Shot a packet that was marked extremely urgent that had been left on his desk with a note to take it to Big Shot. It was Big Shot's return ticket. On the way back, Big Shot stopped by the corporate office and got a very senior executive to come with him because of some very serious personnel problems. The next morning, Big Shot led the senior executive and Tom into a meeting with all of Fred's department and began publicly berating Sandra for incompetence and so on. When he got to the part about the tickets, Fred interrupted and told the senior executives that Sandra couldn't have done that. She was on approved time off having lunch with her daughter. This raised the senior executive's eyebrows and got Big Shot even angrier. The senior executive said if Sandra didn't mess up the tickets, who did? Fred stepped forward, then Al, and one by one, every single member of Fred's team stepped forward to take responsibility responsibility to protect Sandra from Big Shot's wrath. Oh my god, it's like Spartacus. I think that's the movie, right? Yeah, definitely. Who's Spartacus? I am. Okay, anyway, sorry. Tom and senior executive knew exactly what had happened. Everyone on Fred's team had burned up the phones, making tentative reservations for rental cars and hotel rooms, leaving Big Shot stuck with worthless reservations and no alternates. Within the hour, Big Shot's desk was empty and his badge had been turned in. The senior executive stuck around to get to know the team. He was very impressed with how the whole team stuck together and protected their own. After he finished the tale, the engineer said bluntly, "Don't mess with Sandra. We love her and we will make you pay if you upset her." Message received loud and clear. As I worked with Fred's team, I got to understand why everyone loved Sandra. She was an absolute gem in the organization. Efficient, super friendly, just an all-around wonderful person. That's such a sweet story. I dig that work culture because, like most other places in the United States, as far as I know, it's work first, everything else second. If you have a medical emergency, you better pray you have a nice boss. But like in a lot of European countries, say like, let's say Switzerland or something, or Sweden, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be similar either way. If you want to get off early, like on Friday to get some drinks with your friends, your boss will let you. Like, you just say, hey, I'm gonna go get some drinks with my friends, so I'm gonna leave early. And your boss can be like, okay, cool, have fun. And then you're best friends. But I dig this whole, like, you know, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's like Spider-Man or Spartacus. Two spas. Alright, this story's called All She Had to Do Was Nothing. Context. Names and some details changed for privacy. I'm on mobile, etc. Players. There's me, NB31, but I'm not out at work. I don't know what that means. Manager? Oh, okay. Manager is Lady Catherine. Managing partner, Bennett, male, 50s. And Lady Catherine's a female in her 60s. My partner, Gardner, male, 47. Partner I'm babysitting. Bingley. My friend and coworker, Charlotte. Okay, that's a lot of characters. I am a professional attorney wrangler for a big legal firm. If you've watched Suits, I'm Donna if she was wound tighter than a child's music box. As a legal administrator, I have to keep a tremendous amount of information straight. Every county in every US state has their own court system, their own rules, and their own idiosyncrasies. I have 5 attorneys on my team. Despite the TV shows, it's pretty unusual for a lawyer to have a special secretary all their own unless they are very important. So 5 is a solid number. Because of the nameless death that took over the world last year, a secretary that left in January 2020 has not been replaced yet, and I've been babysitting one of the partners, Bingley, in the meantime. It's been a fun learning opportunity as Bingley works for an entirely different region and type of law than the rest of the team. Also, he has a case where a truck exploded, was empty, which is awesome. Story! My manager, Lady Catherine, is the worst. You know the type. She plays favorites. Her best loved word is no. She must be involved in every conversation because she is just that important and necessary. We don't get along because I am a stubborn know-it-all who's been proven right a few too many times. Highlights include forbidding me from using the same resources other admins had access to on her orders, including backup admins where my workload was too big, and then denying my overtime requests. I literally had no way to do my job some days. It's worth noting that the reason Bingley's secretary left was specifically because of Lady Catherine. In fact, 4 additional admins quit over the year explicitly because of her. Anyway, at this point, I'd been working with Bingley for almost a year. It was November 2020, and we'd settled into a pretty good routine. I'd gotten used to filing pleadings in different states weight and no longer needed to double-check all my work for nuance. Oh my god, I would suck at that job. Because law still operates in the Stone Ages, a few US states still require hard copy filing. Anything we want the judge to read has to be sent by actual mail on actual paper to arrive in the judge's actual hands. It's a pain. Most states let you file electronically, but whatever. Bingley mostly has cases in one of the hard copy states. Lady Catherine, in her excessive wisdom, butted in uninvited and instructed me to include a cover letter when mailing a new filing. This confused me as I had been filing for almost a year and no one, including the admin who'd originally trained me, had mentioned a cover letter. I told her this and she basically told me to suck it up. I called the court admin to make sure I wasn't crazy and that I hadn't ruined a year's worth of filings, and the court admin literally laughed and said to please not include a cover letter ever. So I didn't. Imagine my surprise when Lady Catherine called me, writing me up for insubordination, even knowing the court rules and the judge and the court admin explicitly said not to send a damn letter. She was right, because she is always right, and I am, and I quote, a disrespectful little crap, and she was tired of me. A warning went into my employee file pending disciplinary measures. The next day, she emailed my team telling them to reduce my score on my yearly review as she knew I had been rated too highly for what my abilities really are. It felt to me like she was preparing to fire me by creating a history of poor performance. Well, if you're so tired of me, Madam Manager, I can leave! Within a week of looking, I found a new position. Now here's the issue. I freaking love my team. This is the best work team I've ever been on. I'm starting to realize that I really didn't need to make all the voices for everyone. But okay, we take each other seriously and we genuinely love each other. A lot of times admins get pushed around because we don't have fancy degrees, but not here. Calling in to quit, I cried. I cried a lot. I cried to the point that one of the partners, Bennett, asked if I wanted the counteroffer. I said no because that wouldn't solve anything. He asked what I meant. I told him about the write-up. I told him how she was trying to falsify my employee review after it had been submitted. I told him the reason 5 admins had left. I told him about how I wasn't allowed to ask for help. At this point, I had given myself hiccups from weeping. You know, I get hiccups when I laugh too hard. Actually, it hasn't happened in a minute, but I guess when I was younger, anytime I would laugh really hard, that's when I'd get hiccups. No other time. And, actually, no, sometimes, very rarely when it's like, when I'm eating spicy food, like really, really spicy food, not like your definition of spicy, but my definition of spicy, which is like 14 leagues ahead of your definition, I might get hiccups, but not very common. Anyway, shoot, what am I reading? Oh, and one of the partners on my team, Gardner, was calling him asking if he and his workload were the reasons I was leaving. So Bennett let me go do other things, like day drink and create a shrine out of legal forms. I thought it was the end of it, until a friend in another office, Charlotte, called me asking what I was doing. She doesn't have time to train someone into being the new me, and I was the only admin she actually trusts in my office, so why was I leaving her all alone? I told her, and she told Gardner, and together they plotted. First, Charlotte is the manager in her office, so she is on equal footing with Lady Catherine. They also report to the same person. Charlotte called the district manager and told him that Lady Catherine was driving admins away, and that the most recent quitter, me, was the only person who knows how to do a lot of the work on my teams. And my loss was a serious blow. Apparently this is true, which is both heartwarming and terrifying. Damn, so now you can't die now. You're too important. Meanwhile, Gardner called up a fellow partner and told her that his world would collapse in on itself if I left. He would go to the nearest bridge and jump off it, which would be pretty impressive in a landlocked state. They had to do something. I got a call the next day from Bennett saying they had a counteroffer they were really hoping I'd take. Basically, instead of Lady Catherine, I would report directly to Gardner. Lady Catherine would be forbidden from interfering with me without first asking Gardner for his permission. This solved the issue, and I gotta stay with my team, so I happily accepted. I thought the debacle was over. The debacle was not over. Unbeknownst to me, after looking at the evidence, exit interviews, emails, memos, Bennett put Lady Catherine on a performance improvement plan, and she did not get an end-of-the-year bonus or raise. Turns out, I had been absolutely correct. Lady Catherine's behavior and treatment had been the explicit cause that 6 secretaries quit in less than a year. That monster. I got a call last week from Charlotte. I figured she wanted to gossip about coworkers or rant about how a shared client is a big ol' headache, but it was actually to give me a heads up. Lady Catherine had been stripped of her management duties. I no longer had any contact with her, which was great, but it also meant I didn't see that her behavior had actually doubled down on the admins unfortunate enough to still be under her thumb. She had missed every single one of the benchmarks on her performance improvement plan. Charlotte had called me to ask my opinion on who should be the new manager, as I know everyone, and she was helping cover some things as an outside manager. Now, I know some of you are thinking, yes, become the manager and fire Lady Catherine. But I am not a sadist. I want to stay on my team and do what I do best, which is being a cheerfully annoying, respectful little poo-poo. I told her one of the more senior admins would probably need some guidance, but would be amazing at it. No one has to deal with Lady Catherine anymore. She is now a mere paralegal and not anyone's manager at all. If she had just left me alone and not interfered where she wasn't needed, none of this would have happened. All she had to do was nothing. Edited for clarity. Edit for clarity. Holy moly! Y'all, I'm so happy! People think I'm funny. Yeah, you are funny. I'm gonna print out your comments and staple them to my mom's forehead like, see? The internet laughs at my jokes! Thank you so much for the gold and silver. I'm super excited and honored, but don't waste your actual money on my silly story. 1. Why wasn't Lady Catherine fired? Answer? I have no idea. My best guess is she's really great at another part of her job, or has a valuable qualification. That or she's extorting someone. I will absolutely update if I find out for certain. 2. There are bridges in landlocked states? It's just a silly throwaway joke, but I'm from the San Francisco area originally. When I say bridge, I think Golden Gate, which does go over the ocean. Oh my goodness, we have a bridge elitist, or should I say, a golden gatekeeper, which does go over the ocean. I'm new to the middle part of the US, and I'm still learning your weird claustrophobic topography. Where are the Bennett's managerial skills here? Oh, sorry, number 3. Look. I picked Bennett as his last name for a reason. He's a great dude, super smart and funny, but he tends to ignore problems instead of solve them. 4. Wait, how many secretaries quit? Do you know how numbers work? Answer: I absolutely do not. Thank you for asking. My math does check out here though. 4 nameless secretaries plus Bingley's former secretary plus me. I stayed, but I also quit. I'm a conundrum. Equals 6. 6 pissed off admins. Bennett, if you're reading this is why I turned down the accounting duties. 5. So, who actually got revenge here? Answer: Charlotte, in my opinion. I wasn't sure what Reddit to post this to, but ProRevenge is my favorite, so I tried it out. I briefly chatted with the mod who agreed, so here it is. 6. Pride and Prejudice! Answer: Austin was a genius, and you can't convince me otherwise. I was gonna go into a whole thing about why she wasn't, but I actually know nothing about her. I never read Pride and Prejudice. I would've, wait, I'm tangent. I'm doing that thing. Anyway, badass story. I'm so glad you're important, and I'm so glad everyone's gonna hear that voice crack, because it shows that I'm not a perfect person, despite what everyone most likely thinks. I do have flaws, and that is the only one, actually. I occasionally voice crack. Alright guys, I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you like you guys in the comments like to pretend I am.
Oh my god, he put a petty revenge in the ProRevenge video. Let's burn down a barn. Not even related to him at all. Just burn down some random guy's barn.
You gotta stop doing that, man. I'm getting a lot of angry letters from farmers who are like, why are you sneaking in petty revenge stories into ProRevenge videos, man? They keep burning down my barn. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I don't know why they're doing that. I get it. If you want to burn down a barn, just get your own barn. All right, don't burn down these poor farmers' barns. All right, I'm getting the flack for. I'm getting the heat for it, if you will. Anyway, this story's called "Don't Drive Behind Me So Closely" by the deaf guy. So I've noticed that in my area at least, people have a tendency to drive right on my ass, even on the highway going 100 kilometers per hour. So naturally, since they obviously have somewhere to be, I'll slow down from going 100 to a smooth 90 to 80, because what if a deer jumps out and I have to brake? Either way, I'll have another person's car in my back seat, so might as well minimize the damage if that does happen. Now, I don't have a problem with going a bit faster than the speed limit, or me. It's when you give no space to me that worries me. So I'll intentionally slow down a little bit, for safety's sake of course. Edit. I almost never am in the fast lane. Normally I stick to the right so others can pass, yet sometimes they insist on riding my ass regardless of how fast or slow I'm going. As for pulling over to the side, the highway I tend to drive on is fairly hilly with a lot of corners, so there's a good chance I'll get clipped by someone. It's easier to just drive slightly slower and hope they pass. I agree. I hate, what's the tailgaters, right? That's the word? Oh my god, I'm gonna look so stupid now. I hate those people that do that. It's dangerous, it's stupid, and it gets you nowhere, alright? Like, you're still stuck behind the same thing. You're just a little bit closer, maximizing the risk for injury, or just everything. You know what? You're more likely to get an STD by doing that. Don't ask how, it's science. Don't question it. That's how science works. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.